Hello and welcome back to another episode of Knitting Out Loud. My name is Emily and this is my channel where I talk about all the things that I have been making. Today might be a little bit hectic. I'm recording a little bit later than I usually am, which means my family is all here and there might be some noise in the background. So I have done some things with my microphone. Hopefully the sound isn't terrible. I'll do my best, but I think I'm just gonna have to ask for grace in this situation. So thank you for bearing with me if you are here. I have one finished object today, 2 whips that you have seen before, and a new cast on. First up, I have finished my Hocking Hills socks. Last week I had one done and was through the gusset decreases on the second, so I've gotten those finished off. I started these May 6th and finished them May 30th. The yarn was from Dye Mad Yarns. It was their Chester sock mini set in the Hocking Hills collection. And I'm from the Hocking Hills area of Ohio, so this was just a really special yarn to have, and I love the way that they turned out. I do have some yarn left over and they would make a perfect fade, so I'm gonna weigh and see if I have enough to make a shorty pair of socks in a fade, or I might just put them into my scrappy jelly roll blanket fade style. We shall see. Those are these. Next up is my Soft Current Tee by Wool and Pine. This is in a bag by Artifact Bag Co. Love it. I haven't looked at this in a few days, so I'm trying to remember where I left off here. So where I left off, I had not started on the back of either shoulder. It was a provisional cast on, so these were both on waist yarn, and I have gotten the short rows done and the increasing done on the right shoulder, and I am working through them on the left shoulder before I'm ready to connect. So not a ton of progress, but let's see, probably about an inch on each shoulder, I would say. And I'm almost to the point where I will connect and the V-neck will truly be a V-neck. This is yarn by Yarn Nouveau. It is their Bliss sock. It is their Bliss sock base in the color Seaside, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. I did not do as much knitting on this as I planned to this week. I got distracted by another cast on that you will see in a moment. I'm not in any sort of rush. It is starting to feel a little stale to me though, so I've got to get back into it and get some momentum going with it because I'm to the point where I'm ready to get it moving along. So I think as soon as I have it joined in the body, it's gonna fly. All right, and then I have just added 3 runs into my mileage blanket this week. Here is where I was last week. I was in the process of adding in the brown, which is 3 miles. So I think that I had a 3 mile, a 4 mile, a 3 mile, and a 2 mile run to add in there. Not too much going on there. I'm ready to add in my transition rows, which is just the white here eyelet 4 rows to close out May, and then we will be on to June. I have shared details many times about my mileage blanket, so if you'd like to know more, you can go back and watch one of those episodes. I went into pretty good detail on it in last week's episode. I had a little bit of an impulse cast on this week. We have family coming to visit. My mom is going to be here, and it's going to be her birthday while they're in town. So I decided to make her a pair of socks. My mom gets into town tonight, so I gave myself less than 48 hours to knit a pair of socks. And I don't think I'm going to finish them, but I did get 1 sock done in about 24 hours. It has not been blocked. I just put it on the blocker to show, and I still need to go close up the gaps for the heel. But it's so cute. These are the Flea Stitch socks by Summer Lee. I have made a version of these with a long leg for myself. And so I just pulled some different yarns from Stash that I thought would work well together. It's actually similar to one of the samples that that Summer Lee had with the pattern. So I was able to find some similar options in my stash and use those. The main color of the red is Knitpick Stroll Fingering in Hollyberry. The pink is also Knitpick Stroll in Dogwood Heather. And then the yellow is, let me look at it to make sure. The yellow is so bright. It is Cascade Heritage in Highlighter Yellow. I have just gotten the second sock cast on, so unless a miracle occurs, I don't think these are going to be done in the next 6 hours. But I knit this first sock so fast. Okay, I just got a little bit of a distraction going on here. It's a full house today, like I mentioned, but I don't know what I'm saying. This is a very motivating pattern to knit. And I made this whole sock. I started this sock in the evening of Monday evening, and then I finished it Tuesday night. So about 24 hours start to finish, which was a record for me. Those are all the projects that I have to share today. And I do have just a quick roundup of my May stats. In May, I finished 2 projects. Those projects were my Cloud Break tee and, just in the nick of time, my Hocking Hills Socks, which means that for my in and out goal for the month of May, I only brought 200 grams in and 413 grams out. So that is the 3rd month in a row that I have more out than in. And for the year, I am still in a bit of a deficit. I have had 4,675 grams in and 3,110 grams out. So I'm getting closer. I'm only about 1,500 grams behind, which is a few shirts, several pairs of socks. We shall see. All right, next week is not going to be a typical project update. I'm going to be sharing my brainstorming and planning process for my summer knitting plans. So I hope that you will tune in for that, enjoy it, and I hope that you have a great week, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.